Lucy's Bay. Gary Crew, Gregory Rogers. Lucy's Bay. Gary Crew, Gregory Rogers. Far up from the edge of the sea, in a pool beyond the sandhills, the water reeds rustled, stem against stem, leaf against leaf. They sighed and whispered. And the sea wind, hearing the sorrow of their tale, carried their gossamer seeds far, far away. Sam spent his summer holidays at his grandfather's hut beside the sea. He loved his days with Pop, but at night, with the lamp turned out and the darkness in the hut, he longed for the bedtime sounds of home. The night sounds here were terrible. The sea wind moaned, and trapped in the she-oaks, long thin fingers of leaves stroked the windows. Gulls cried, and from the darkness beyond the sandhills the water reeds whispered, calling Sam softly, secretly, to the shore of a tiny bay. After many summers, though Sam grew and told himself he was too big to be afraid, his nights in the hut were still long, his mouth still dry with fear, his eyes fixed on the Salt Street window. And outside the weeds rustled, whispering, "Here, Sam, here," stirring memories in his head. One night he sat up in his bed and said out loud to the darkness, "Tomorrow I will go." In the morning Sam had not forgotten. "Pop," he said, "I'm going right along your beach today, past the reed pool, past the red cliffs too, maybe right around, maybe all the way around to the next bay." Pop nodded. He had been hoping this day would come. Most days when Sam went out he followed the broad arc of the tide line. He would stop and look, stooping to collect curious things from the sea, pebbles round and glossy, shells and coral from far away, slivers of frosted glass rubbed so smooth by the sand and water that they would cut nobody. Or he might watch a hermit crab, on legs like wires, dragging its shell house across the damp sand, leaving only the faintest trace of its passing, until the next wave when it would be taken, as the sea had taken Lucy, Sam's sister. That was a long time ago, years now, though Sam could not forget. He would wander along the tide line, stopping and looking, always half hoping. But today he was determined that he would not stop. Beyond the sandhills the reeds sighed and rustled, whispering to him still. No, today he would not stop. He passed the dense tea-tree forest where dark water seeped down through the sand to the sea. Today he would not stand between the papery trunks to watch the quick, bright finches flash high in the branches. And though the crying of the wind off the sea grew so desolate, so forlorn, that his night fears crept back, Sam went on. Today he would reach the red cliffs, maybe beyond. The red cliffs began where the long, smooth arc of the beach ended. Great rocks reared from the sea, purple crabs scuttled, snails lurked, and drab grey weed hung limp. The Red Cliffs was an awful place. Beyond the rocks, beneath the cliffs, the sea had carved a tiny bay. Sam could have crossed it in just a few strides. Pure white sand swept down to the sea. Broken shells of every form lay like lace upon its edge. One palm, a pandanus, arched outwards from the cliff. A breeze stirred its leaves with the softest sigh, like the sigh of the wind in the reeds. "Here," whispered Sam, "I am here at last." Years before, Lucy and Sam, with their mum and dad, had been swimming here. When it was time to go back to Pop's, Sam had said, "Not yet. You go and leave Lucy with me. It's only shallow. I'll mind her, I promise." So Sam and Lucy had stayed and swum for a while until he was tired of doing what Lucy wanted and wandered off, leaving her alone. When Sam had turned to look for her, there was no trace. There was only the sea. Now, he turned to look again. There was the palm where his parents had watched. There were the shallows where Lucy had played. Beyond was the sea. By the base of the pandanus, Sam dropped to his knees. He fanned aside the frail dry weed tangled in its roots. Next, he brushed gently, and beneath his fingers appeared stone, not red like the cliffs, but white, streaked with grey, marble fixed at the base of the cliff. Engraved on the stone was a single word. Sam knew what it would be. Pop had told him, so had his parents, but this was the first time that he had looked. Sam knelt till the sand drifted beneath his knees, the grains sliding back over the stone, covering the name. He swept them away, and there, tangled in the weed, was a tuft of gossamer. Seeds from the reed pool, even way down here. He stood and blew the seeds from his cupped hands, watching them scatter above him, catching the wind. Some rose against the cliffs, some vanished over the sea. "Lucy," he began, I... Sam turned away from the sea, away from the stone, and wondered for the first time what could be there, what lay beyond the shores of Lucy's Bay.